So it's my pleasure to introduce the creator of Nitobi and now a director of engineering at Adobe, Andre Charland.
Thanks, Steve. So Steve is responsible for keeping it on schedule. So around 6 p.m., when you're wondering when you can have another beer, just go talk to Steve. So yeah, like Steve said, I'm Andre Charland. I'm a director of engineering in charge of the PhoneGap project right now at Adobe. And glad everyone came out to PhoneGap Day. Looks like we have an awesome crew here. We have an awesome venue, so it's going to be a great day of getting together. But the most exciting thing about PhoneGap Day is, it's really a celebration about something we've been working on, waiting for, a lot of anticipation around this. Some of us were actually up all night till the wee hours of the morning. I saw some guys morning, like Al Harding, engineering manager, and he was looking really tired because he was up so late because, it's Batman, Dark Knight Rises was today. So we're all excited about that. But really, it's PhoneGap 2.0. It's been a year since 1.0, and that's kind of the cadence we're looking at hitting, and we've hit it. So inside of Adobe, things are going very well for PhoneGap. So I think another round of applause is in order for all the contributors, all the community, and everyone involved in making PhoneGap 2.0 a reality. So big round of applause. But of course, writing and shipping software is not the only thing. We've come a long way in 1.0 in terms of just overall usage and how many people are interested in the PhoneGap project. So we've had over 10 million visits to PhoneGap.com. That's the community site. This is really awesome. I mean, this is huge growth over last year, and the growth is still continuing. So what that means is people are really excited about PhoneGap and the community around it, the tools, the apps people are building. So for all of you guys who are either contributing or building with PhoneGap, I'd encourage you to look at ways of getting involved in PhoneGap.com. We have guest blogs, we have the app section. We're going to be releasing stuff around plugins, tools. So if you're doing stuff, please let us know. We'd like to promote you and what's going on in the community. Especially if you built a great app. We have an app case study section, and we can blog about that. So we want to give you guys some love, too. That had over 1 million downloads of the framework now, too, which is awesome. It's started as a small project only, really like 4 years ago now. So to have this many downloads last year is really, really quite amazing. We're really pumped on this. For the website traffic, what's really interesting and has changed is it's 40% non-English now. So that means PhoneGap has a reach far broader than just North America. And what's also interesting about this is most of the events we go to and the marketing we've done is really only in North America and a bit in Europe. But still, we're getting this much traffic. So we're trying to really grow the community. So PhoneGap is really an international community of developers and web developers. So we were killing issues inside of Apache. So that was one concern we had. We moved to Apache, we came to Adobe, and we are closing issues faster than almost any other project in Apache, and we're doing this inside of Adobe, and we're releasing faster than ever. So this is really awesome. You can see those graphs are the issues we're closing. And a big shout out to our contributors. So last year at this time, really the main contributors were Nitobi, prior to the acquisition, which is now Adobe contributors, and IBM. And since joining Adobe and contributing PhoneGap to the Apache Foundation, we now have a huge number, including Google, IBM's still a big contributor, the guys from RIM, tons of them are here, Intel, Microsoft, and there's more contributors signing up all the time. So PhoneGap is really bigger than just the team at Adobe working on it. We have a lot of big players, people building other platforms for the web. So yeah, things are going really well. Also, at Adobe, there's a lot of other efforts to push things like PhoneGap and web development in general forward, like contributions to WebKit and contributions and actually building tools that will help web developers, which we'll be releasing in the coming months. So really excited to just see all these things moving forward for web and mobile web developers. I mean, a tool is just a tool unless you're building great apps. So these are just a few of the apps. We have the Wikipedia app is built with PhoneGap. And actually, the Wikipedia guys were here at PhoneGap Day last year, and that's where we got to know them. Also, Zombie Zombie by Gree, and Mafia Wars Shakedown by Zynga. And then, my favorite app of all time, Untapped, which you guys are going to hear about later. These are all great examples of PhoneGap apps, kind of span a wide variety of different use cases, from informational like Wikipedia to games to social networking apps. A lot of it can be built with PhoneGap. Of course, we still have the web versus native debate, and we're always going to have this. But I think it's getting better. Web technology is getting better. WebKit's getting better. We have better tools. Our JavaScript skills are improving, and the quality of apps being released today is, really better than ever. Of course, we're always going to be debating web versus native, and I think there's always going to be a place for both. I just think the use case for web is growing faster. So we've had some mistakes too. When we contributed PhoneGap to the Apache Foundation, we had to change the name. We went through this snafu with callback. We landed at Cordova. So now it's quite clear, though, although there is still confusion. Cordova is really the open source project inside of Apache. PhoneGap is a brand that we own at Nitobi. We're going to have a PhoneGap distribution of Cordova. We're going to have PhoneGap build. We're going to have lots of other tools around it. So Cordova is what we call it in the Apache Foundation. That's primarily what contributors should be concerned about. But for anyone just building PhoneGap apps day to day, it's really PhoneGap and PhoneGap.com that you want to be visiting. So one big thing we're looking at for PhoneGap 3.0 is making PhoneGap lighter weight and faster than ever. So we're really trimming down the core with plugins. We're going to hear a lot more about that today from members of the team. Finally, I just want to say, we have some great beer we have on tap here. I think we have 8 different kegs of microbrews, which we're going to start serving this afternoon. The after party is graciously sponsored by AT&T, but of course we have other sponsors like Intel, Breaking Development, OneToke, which is having a contest, which they'd like you to check out back there. So that's all from me. I hope you really enjoy the day. Come talk to me if you have any questions or ideas about PhoneGap. And yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for coming. All right.